Hey guys, it's Mario here back with a quick video, and in this one we're going to be going over time management and how to plan out your day properly, how to get the most out of your days, as this is something that I've basically had to adopt a lot of these ideas to increase my own productivity over the last couple of years that I wanted to share with you guys, because I know that you watching this channel, you're interested in self-improvement, you want to improve every single one of area of your life, and this is basically one of those skills that you have to have because everything happens within that 24-hour period. Like the process that leads to success is basically what is happening within the 24-hour period, and that repetition over the course of a longer period of time will get to a massive successful result. So what do you do in 24 hours? Okay, so the first tip that I would say here is that the tip number one is really start off your day with the most important thing. Like as Brian Tracy says, one of his famous things is really eat that frog, right? You get that most important thing, that hardest thing of the day, the things that you prioritize the most first. You just get that over with right in the morning or as soon as you wake up. Anytime you wake up, you focus on that one single thing. You don't let anything else distract you until that's done. And now the question is, well, how do you find that one single thing? And the way I found it myself is I simply looked at all 4 years of my life. Okay, now there's purpose, business, social skills, and health. And I looked at, okay, which one of these is lagging behind? Which one is really the one that I need to work on the most? And if that was health, and it was health for me a while ago, and I said, well, health is the one. So first thing in the morning, what I would do is really focus on going to the gym and also making sure that I have some healthy food. So that would be like my breakfast and going to the gym. So 2 main things that would get over with first thing in the morning. So like either do my food preparation or go to the gym. Essentially, that's like my quote unquote frog, right? Once what I get that out of the way, then every other thing simply follows. So all the other tasks just simply pile on, because the middle of the day is the thing that you have the least control of, because all the chaos, everything is happening, like you kind of got cold, like a lot of emails, notifications, like everything keeps coming in. But that first thing you do when you wake up, that's the time when you have the most control over your day. So use it wisely. And one other famous quote from Brian Tracy is obviously 1 minute of planning saves 10 minutes of execution. So I love that quote, and I personally believe that every single person, if you really effectively want to use your day, you want to plan the night before what you're going to do the next day in the morning. So for now, let's say for me, I basically make a lot of these videos as the first thing that I do, or I go to the gym the first thing in the day so I can kind of get more energy, and then I can do the video and I can be more on point, and I can wake up faster, I can get my energy up levels very, very fast. So that's kind of my thing that I do right now as the first thing, right? So, and this changes over the course of the year. Nobody says that there has to be only one thing, but it has to be the thing that you're currently focused on the most. So you get that out of the way, and then you continue with the rest of your day. So that's the first one. The second thing is that one huge one that I would share with you guys is really having that if-then mentality. So those if-then statements. So let's say if I don't get my exercise this morning, then I will do my exercise in the afternoon, right? So you have that, when you're in that flow, you have a sort of an auto regulation set up. So if I don't get my business project done this morning, I'm gonna work on it right after gym. Because you basically give yourself those if-then statements to plan for those days when things kind of derail, when things fall off track, to know exactly what to do. And that's a big one. So I don't see a lot of people use these if-then statements, like these if-then type of plans, but it's a really, really big thing for my life. And it's kind of what keeps my schedule going and keeps my habits really, really on point, because I say, okay, if I fail to have a healthy breakfast, if I'm really, really rushing, if I have to get something fast, then I'm gonna cook a healthy dinner, right? So I kind of make sure that I'm at least doing the best I can in that situation rather than just letting everything fall apart. So that's a really, really big one here. And that brings me to the third point, is really try to avoid doing half productive work. What that means is that if you're really focusing on, let's say, making a video, going to the gym, eating a healthy breakfast, writing a project, finishing some paperwork, like whatever you're doing, make sure that you're doing that 100%. You eliminate distractions, eliminate the email reading. Let's say I'm making this video and then all of a sudden, I just take my phone and I start reading my Facebook. What kind of video would that be, right? So it would probably be shit. So the point is really, if I'm doing this, I'm doing this and nothing else. And if I do that, my brain can work 100% focused and like put all that energy and all that focus into one thing, and I will be much more productive, get that thing done faster, and then I can dedicate 100% of my focus on the exact next thing. And this is a huge area in today's world where a lot of distractions, a lot of these kind of things that are trying to sway us off the main direction, right? They're just trying to pull our focus away, and that makes us a lot less productive. I mean, you guys know I mentioned this many times that multitasking is a myth. This has been disputed. So there's no such thing as multitasking. There's single tasking, and then your brain can kind of switch fast between the tasks, but it's always a single task. There's no such thing as multitasking. And this brings me to the last point, and one of the biggest things that I want to share with you guys, and that is that sticking to a schedule of execution is much more important than doing the best work you can do. So what do I mean by this? Well, look, so if I say that I'm gonna do my whole workout today at 6 p.m. and something at 5:15, someone says, well, 6:30, you have to be at this place at this time. There's no other way you can make this work. 6:30, you have to show up there. So instead of me basically saying, hey, fuck that, I'm not gonna go to the gym at all, or I'm gonna have to lose that opportunity to do that business deal, whatever, I'm gonna say, well, why don't I just shrink the commitment and still stick to my schedule instead of skipping it all together. And this allows me to build a massive amount of momentum, because I can just say, well, instead of doing my full workout, which is an hour and a half, why don't I just go and do a 20-minute part of the workout, just the first initial part of the workout, shrink that commitment into a smaller commitment, and then that will keep me on schedule, and then I can build momentum with that, and I'll finish that extra 40 or an hour, whatever I have left, 40 minutes or an hour, the next day. And this has worked like magic for me. This is a huge epiphany for me, because I found that when I get my ass to the gym, when I knock out that 30 minutes, the next day when I do the other half of the workout, I do it even better quality work at then, and I have two high quality workouts that are kind of like very effective on each one, and I also get to stick to all my commitments. So shrink the commitment that you have into a smaller thing and make sure that you still stick to your schedule, because sticking to a schedule gives you that power, gives you that control, and gives you a very clear idea of momentum. You're gonna be able to maintain that flow. Rather, if I skip a workout, then the next day I'm like, oh shit, I have to do the workout that I skipped, and all of a sudden I'm not as motivated, and then again I'm putting that an hour and a half on the next day, and something else might come up, and then in that next day I might lose another opportunity to work out. So instead of like trying to do the whole thing, let me just do like 20 or 30% of it, and I'm gonna baby step it, and I'm gonna do the next half the other day. And same applies for business. Let's say I have to do like a whole business proposal, or like revamp my whole website or something like that. Well, why don't I just do half of the work today, and then I'm gonna do the other half tomorrow? But the important thing is that you say to yourself, hey, I'm gonna do a little bit of it. I'm gonna do something. And even if you do just 5% of it, it's still gonna put you in a much better position next time, because there was actually a study done on this. People are more likely to finish off something that they already started rather than start something from scratch. Because when you're starting off something from scratch, you're kind of fighting that whole resistance of starting a new task, and it's like annoying. You're thinking, oh shit, this is gonna take an hour and a half, But if you've done 20 minutes, it's like a small commitment, and you already kind of bought into it. You already have that momentum, and then to finish it off, it's much easier. Try this out. I mean, if you apply all these tips, I mean, it will really change your day. It will make you very effective. Things like, as already I mentioned, intermittent fasting, delaying that breakfast also can play a big role, like managing your nutrition throughout the day, knowing which types of foods and meals you can combine to hit your macros, but also maintain that level of focus, which is super important. So you want to experiment with how much vegetable you need per meal to kind of level your blood sugar levels, and make sure to maintain that focus throughout the day, how much protein per meal, like all these things play a key role. And one big one is obviously getting enough sleep, which is it's something I think a lot of people don't get. And there was actually very fascinating studies on that. And they did a study where they took people who were sleep deprived, who were sleeping 6 hours for 2 weeks, and they found out that these people had the same mental performance as someone who hasn't been sleeping at all for 2 days. So within just 2 weeks, their complete productivity plummeted to the level of complete sleep deprivation for 2 days. And they slept 6 hours. That's what most people get in terms of sleep in today's world. And it's quite fascinating. The second finding of the study, which was even more shocking to me, was not just the performance decline. I was kind of expecting that, obviously, the lack of sleep. But the second thing is that none of the subjects in the study were actually aware that their performance declined. And they objectively tested them and they confirmed, but they were not aware. They were all saying that they were fine, that they were having the same amount of energy as when they slept 8 hours. So sleep deprivation is one of those tricky things that we're not really aware of, that there's a big impact in our life, but it actually is. So I would highly recommend you to stick between that 7 to 9 hours a night, like really get your sleep. If you can't get that, I mean, naps and paying off your sleep debt throughout the weekends, or any other strategy you can incorporate, increasing the higher quality of your sleep, cooler room, earplugs, like things like a sleeping mask, like dark room, like all these things play a huge role, like avoiding the blue light at night, using apps like Flux. I mean, a lot of different things, but these would be my top tips, I would say, for managing my own day, the things that I'm currently using. You know, I'm using all this stuff that I'm saying, and I think it's really making a big impact in my life. It's making sure that I'm very productive, that I'm able to deliver a lot of value, a lot of content for YouTube, and I can provide my energy into something that gives meaning to my life, and I can make sure that I do that while not like running around like a headless chicken, you know, like just not knowing what to do and what is on the plan. You know, I try to incorporate all these tips and just manage my day really accurately and plan ahead. As I said, 1 minute of planning saves 10 minutes of execution. So use these tips, abuse them, apply them, incorporate them, and your life will be changing for sure for better. And hope you guys enjoyed, shared a couple ideas with you here. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, which one you will implement out of all these ideas that I shared. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.